I get questions all the time, right? How do I know when to farm as a jungler? Do I need to gank more? Which lanes do I gank? And I also see comments on videos saying in high elo, junglers tend to have less farm because they are more focused on lanes. So in lower elos, you should focus on farming instead. These thoughts, these ideas, all just pointless, and I can't wait to show you guys why. Because coaches, I've coached junglers from Master to Challenger, Rank 1 to US, from Silver to Platinum, from Iron Turkey to Chinese Super Server. Well, I actually haven't done that one, but in this POV gameplay we're about to watch, I coach a Platinum player for the freest win of his life, and I'm going to show you how you can do exactly the same thing. This is how the best think, and this is how the best do it. But just before we get into the video, so your nutsack, just like your game on League of Legends, it needs tending to. That's why GameLeap have teamed up once again with male grooming global giants Manscaped, and I was like you see that adds a lot, but do I really need to invest in shaving my hairy bits? Yes, because the Performance Package 4.0 and the products in the package, they make you feel so good and confident. So the products that have been helping me print free LP this season, we have the star of the show, the lawnmower trimmer, and this bad boy right here is going to help you keep your bush in good shape, and thanks to its skin safe technology, it's going to greatly reduce the chances of you getting little cuts and nicks that can be annoying. Now after you're finished with the downstairs region, you can move to your head and use the Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer so you don't look like Arvin in public. And to finish everything off guys, you get the anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, and you also get the spray-on toner, which is going to give your ball bag a luscious fragrance at the end of this process. And guess what? Because us at Manscaped are so nice, we're also giving you a chance to get 20% off and free shipping. All you have to do is head over to the Manscaped website, link down below, and use the code JIZZ, J-I-Z-Z. Do it for the nuts. Now enough about the testicles. Look at this loading screen for me. So we're playing Diana. Now the first question, after ourselves, who is the next champion we think about? So most students I've coached will say their bot lane, or maybe their top lane, or even their mid lane. Wrong. Your early game strategy revolves entirely around the enemy jungler. So if you can outsmart them and outjungle them, you have more control on the outcome of a game. So how do we go about doing this? Well, this is Diana against Graves. Graves has a much stronger level 1 and 2. So the first thing we have to watch out for is a red buff level 2 invade. So I tell Diana to assist ping her red Raptor's entrance and to run towards the top pixel brush. This initially protects both buffs from being warded by the enemy team, because no one likes that. But when the first minion waves get to their respective lanes, your teammates aren't going to care about you, so you have to look after yourself. This is why Diana places a trinket at her own blue buff, because she wants to start at red. Now why the trinket at blue? Well, what are we scared of in this early game? What do we want to prevent? Getting red buff invaded by Graves, exactly. So this will notify us if Graves decides to execute this plan. But why start at red buff? Well, red buff helps you clear faster, gives you more power if you do decide to gank or fight the enemy jungler, and denies the enemy jungler from getting your red buff as well as theirs. This means Graves is only really scary for a couple of minutes rather than 4 to 5 minutes. Now while clearing her red buff, I'm telling Diana between each auto attack and movement to look at her minimap, and what do we see? So look at bot lane for me. The enemy Twitch and Soraka show before the enemy top laner. So we can safely assume the enemy jungler is getting a leash from their top laner on red buff. So we know in this game, as Diana clears down to Krugs, that Graves is going to be level 2 with red buff, and he may well invade our blue buff. And can you believe it? Call me the prophet. Now if I pause it, what is the correct decision here? Because there are a few options. You can go to Graves' bot side immediately. You might run to the blue buff he's trying to steal, but the best move is to clear Raptors. Now why? Well, this camp gives you level 3. And you might say, but Graves' blue or Gromp would give me level 3. Why not just leave Raptors and counter invade straight away? Well, that's a good point. Now the first thing, which isn't as important, but you don't have priority in mid and bot lane in this game. And the second point, what if the enemy bot lane or mid laner warded that blue buff thinking you were going to do exactly that? Then they collapse on you and you're a level 2 Diana. By hitting level 3 off Raptors, you can still invade and make that play, and you will be a higher level than everyone else. So this just makes that play a lot safer. This is what Diana does, but on her way to the Graves' bot side, we notice that the enemy Twitch and Soraka, a very killable bot lane, is pushed up. Now there are two questions you have to ask yourself. Is this lane gankable as the first one? And this of course depends on the positioning of the enemy champions. So in this case, yes, we can gank them. So then we have to ask, well, if we gank them, are we going to kill them? This is a crucial distinction to make, because even if the enemy champions are pushed up, it doesn't always mean you get a kill. But Diana lets her bot lane know by pinging on the way that she wants to gank, and after Brand and Yasuo hit level 2, Diana has 2 kills under her belt before 3 minutes. This game is already over in my head, but how? What should Diana do in this situation? And by the way, if anyone answers this correctly, I will be amazed. Well, I tell Diana to recall. Now why? Well, you never really want to base if it's for a pin item, but in this case we have plenty of gold for a Hextech alternator, so that's the first thing. Now the next thing, and perhaps most importantly, am I going to lose anything if I recall? The answer in this game is no, because even if Graves gets this bot scuttle crap, do we care that much? Of course not. So as Diana runs out of base, we can see via the scoreboard that Graves has 8 CS. So if we try to calculate what Graves has done so far, we know he took his red buff and we saw him take our blue buff. So he's only done 2 camps, meaning the rest of his camps, they are there for the taking, and because he followed our Akali into our bot side, we know that his whole top side, Raptors and Krugs, are just sitting there, some juicy golden experience. And many of you might be like, why do that? It's so risky to go into the enemy jungle, why not clear your own camps first? Well, by focusing on Graves' camps, we deny him his own golden experience, and this isn't risky at all because we're level 3 with an alternator, Graves is level 2 with an ember knife. And as far as clearing your own camps, are Gromp and Wolves going anywhere? Well, they will still be here when you get back. So Diana does Raptors and Krugs, and while clearing Krugs, it's important to pay attention to the top lane, because why not kill the Aatrox if we can? So the first question, is it gankable? Well, this lane is pushing towards Set. You can see how the red minions outnumber the blue ones. Okay, so is Aatrox killable then? Well, yes, we are very strong and Set has good early game power, so I tell Diana to ping and move when Aatrox moves up for the cannon minion. It's just that Set goes way too early, he needs to relax, but we still end up picking up the kill. So can you see how we are not only winning the jungle, but also our lanes? We focus on dealing with Graves first and denying his counterplay, while thinking about which lanes we can kill in the process. Now last time in the bot lane when we got 2 kills, we recalled instantly, but that was because we had good gold value for a significant item and there was no real play to make right away. Can you see the difference here? We don't have a blasting wand just yet, we are still 50 gold away and the top scuttle crab is up. That not only denies Graves the crab, but gives us enough for a blasting wand. Now Graves is running towards this, so I tell Diana to smite it instantly and one-shot it with her Q and W and perhaps an auto attack, and she might not smite it instantly, but she does end up pushing it away from Graves and securing it. Now after this we have to again ask the question, recall for a blasting wand or clear our own camps. Now because there is no real play on the map here, like Graves' whole top side is gone, he just cleared his bot side, both crabs are gone, and we are sitting on gold, we want to think about recalling. So I tell Diana here to full clear, no matter what. Now the reason this is just broken in a situation like this is because there is nothing else to do. You're still getting golden experience and you can still put that extra gold to good use in the shop. So we full clear without losing anything. So Graves can't make any play on the map. But as we are doing Krugs, well, let's see if you can work it out. Which side of the map is Graves going to be on? Because we cleared his Raptors and Krugs, therefore he has to be bot side. So Diana is going to finish Krugs towards bot lane, which is an important part of this play. And as soon as Graves commits to this bot gank, Diana is here to counter gank. She kills Twitch and she might have to burn her flash to survive, but it's so worth it because our Akali is getting a bunch of golden experience mid. And by the way guys, VOD reviews just like this one, I'm doing a ton of them on a weekly basis for all roles, so make sure you check out that GameLeap website link in the description and comment section. Now after recalling, what do you think Diana should do? What's her pathing out of base? What should she be thinking about? Well, I see 2 things. Level 6 is 1 camp away and Graves' whole top side is up, so I tell Diana here to take her red buff and sprint to Graves' red buff. She is level 6 with this much damage, it's a free kill 100%. But just like when we were running at Graves' bot side after his level 2 invade, what if there is a free kill along the way? Well, we have to check the lanes. So Diana looks at Swain and realizes the lane is gankable and Swain is killable. She pings on the way and that's another one in the bank. So in the first 6 levels, we have won the jungle, we have won bot lane, we have won top lane, and we have now won the mid lane, the Go Coach. Now after this, because we are so far ahead of Graves at this point in terms of items and levels, we can still invade his red buff. So these minions giving away our intention, it doesn't really matter. But unfortunately, Diana does Graves' Raptors first, which is still fine, but it gives Graves enough time to do the red buff, and he actually goes top and gets a kill out of it. Because of this, Diana doesn't quite counter the play in time and has to leave. But there are still things we can do. We could clear from top to bot, but let's think about the most important champion on the map for a second, Graves. This dude only has his Krugs up on this top side of the map. So where will he be in the next 30 seconds or so? Pathing to his bot side, exactly. This gives us time therefore to do blue and Gromp and then the Rift Herald. Now while doing all of this, it's essential to ping the enemy jungler, because if you know where they are, then don't you want your team to know? Otherwise it's like you're withholding information. Now the final tip I'm going to give you in this video, and if you guys have enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like down below, let us know, and any questions about anything that jungling the Manscaped ad, throw them in the comments. So this tip is about probably the most important macro concept in the game, and I call this cross mapping. So as Diana is doing the Rift Herald here, her team is losing and dying on the bottom side of the map. So when this happens, just start to flame them. No, don't do that. Now this does happen. Not every game your teammates are going to go 20-0. So what's the reaction here? Do we just recall after Rift Herald? Well, if Graves and the enemy team are gaining gold on the other side of the map and we can't directly influence it, we can still indirectly react to this play on our side of the map. So after this Rift Herald, I tell Diana to go straight to top lane, and the tower being on 3 plates is nice because the Rift Herald with Set and Diana will easily kill the tower. But you would do this even if the tower was on 5 plates. You dive the Aatrox and it's the same result. So Diana runs through the water tri-brush. Whether she gets seen or not, it's irrelevant at this point because she has to act fast to counter what's happening bot, and she ends up catching out the Aatrox with a nice play, gets the tower, and recalls. In this cross-map trade, if you want to call it that, Diana actually wins out in terms of gold because she creates an advantage on her side of the map. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you leave here with this high-elo challenger jungle mindset, and I will see you in the next GameLeap video. This has been Coach. Peace.